Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of KigerCraft. I'm KigerCraft, and Giran is off in his home. He went into the caves and I haven't heard much from him since, so I think he may have gotten lost. But today we are going to establish ourselves in the Nether, in the end. Let me just jump in here. Here we go. A lot of people have been asking about when we're going to build the Ender farm, and before we can do that, we need to kind of have a base of operations, because it's actually building the Ender is actually a very big project. It takes a lot of material, a lot of time, so we're going to need to store that stuff here in order to make it easier to build the end farm. So that's what we're going to be doing today. A lot of people noticed from the Ender Dragon fight that there is a gigantic hole in the end, and there most certainly is. It's kind of a huge freaking hole. I almost actually fell into this. In fact, right over there is where I almost got plunged in. But we got some good space here to work with. A lot of this stuff is already removed. Now, when I conceived this project, I have to admit I kind of didn't realize exactly how big this hole is, or was rather. So I was thinking about just covering this whole top part with glass, and then moving on and building layers down and down. So I'm gonna, yeah, exactly. I've got both a regular chest, boop, an ender chest, and a crafting table. There we go. Because I'm OCD. So gonna store everything. Got glass. There we go. Got cobblestone. I'm just gonna take a stack of these with me. Ender pearls. Got some netherrack and some stone steps and some end stone. So we're gonna work on this a little bit, and I think what I'm gonna do is gonna start down here. So the basic premise is that this is just going to be a simple sort of place where we can just store different chests and different things, and maybe have a farm. And I want to have multiple levels. So with each Endermen are 3 high. We're 2 high. So if we do 1, 2, 3, and we put half slabs down here, this will be Enderman proof. So I'm going to make multiple levels here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in right here. And so that's 1, 2, and then this would be 1, 2, 3. So yeah, this here would be the next floor. So I'm just marking this off here, and then oops, let's see, that would give us 1, 2, and then we could have glass over the top, and that would give us just 2. I'm thinking I may... Oh wait, this is only 2. I'm not doing this right. So 1, 2. So 1 high, 2 high. This is the 3rd. Okay, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just start from the top and go from there. Going from the bottoms doesn't seem to be working out. So 1 block, 2 block, 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. So here is where the floor should be. There we go. That'll work out much better, I think. But while I derp around doing this, got a couple things, cool things that to talk about today. Building myself a step here. So one of the things that I really like is computers. I really like computers, and as you guys know, just recently I built a new computer. So I saw an article about how CPUs affect your game rates, your frames per second, because a lot of people, and I didn't know this was something that was new to me, a lot of people think that your CPU doesn't matter, which is not true. Your CPU actually matters quite a bit. And one of the things that this article was talking about is the benchmarking differences between the different Intel core generations and the last generation AMD and new Bulldozer generation AMD processors. And I've said multiple times that I'm not either for or against any particular chip manufacturer. Like, I'm not like a hardcore Intel person or, you know, an AMD fanboy or, you know, whatever you what have you. I like competition among companies. I think it drives them to innovate and to do better. So one of the things that actually disappoints me the most about AMD is that they don't have a good offering to compete with Intel processors, which really sort of just makes me sad. All right. There we go. That looks good. All right, let's go ahead and grab a couple of these half slabs. And I'm just doing a test here real quick. We're just going to do a quick and dirty layer, and then I'll extrapolate it out. But it pretty much confirmed that, oops. Ooh, I might need a lot more of these half slabs than I thought I would. But anyways, it really confirmed that the Intel processors, that processors do matter in your games. The frames per second gained from having a better processor is actually quite significant. I won't bore you guys with the technical details, but one thing that I thought was very interesting is that the processor that I got, which was the Intel Core i5 3570K, was the best processor out of them all. AMD did not have a processor that was anywhere near any offering from Intel. Also, I found it extremely sort of embarrassing for AMD that they didn't actually have a new processor that could compete with their old stuff, with their old processors. So that was a little bit strange, because, you know, normally you would think that I'm gonna put these back. Normally you would think that I don't think I did this right. Okay, well, let's just try this out anyways. If it doesn't work out, I've got my silk touch. I hate breaking glass. Glass is actually one of my favorite blocks. Yep, wrong. Whoa! I forgot its efficiency. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and tear this up. And in case I fall, I don't want to lose this. That silk touch pick is worth quite a lot. But they're actually their old processors, the AMD Athlon 2 was actually a lot better than their current bulldozer processors, which is really, really embarrassing. They went out on a limb and they spent a ton of money to develop this next generation architecture called the bulldozer, and it turned out to be a complete and utter fail. It's not worth the silicon that it's effectively printed onto. The architecture is just so slow. It doesn't give you any performance. I mean, like, yeah, it's good. It's supposedly good at multi-threaded applications, which is one of the reasons why they came out with this, because they said, oh, multi-core is the future, you know, and they wanted to beat Intel. Like they were back in the day, they wanted to beat Intel in the sort of the core race, as they did with the 64 race. AMD was actually one of the first companies to have a true 64-bit processor. The best that Intel had was an emulated 64. But yeah, it didn't really work out. So I'm gonna end up losing all this. Well, most of it at least. Another spawner, really. Giran's place is just infested. Spawners everywhere. It's crazy. So that's why when we went to his place, he had the skeleton spawners, because he's got quite a few of them. So, alright, so this is all going to have to come down one. But, so I just thought that was interesting. So the CPU does make a big difference, but I thought that I already knew that, but I guess the biggest surprise was how poorly AMD did in the benchmarking tests, which, you know, I really hope that they can pull their stuff together. I actually told you guys about how they have hired back the old Athlon K2 designer, and so that would be right here. And hopefully this means better things from AMD in the future, so we'll see about that. I'm currently locked in to Intel for now. I wonder if I can... Oops. Get away. Ooh, I shouldn't have done that. Sucker. Okay, let me eat here. I don't know where that other guy is, and I don't want him coming back for me. But you know, hopefully something will come better from them in the future. Get away from me. Oh, jeez. Oh. Get away, don't kill me. Ugh. That was close. Whew. Alright, note to self, don't mess with the Enderman. Oh my. But, yeah, so hopefully something good will come from them in the future. Because we definitely don't want Intel getting lethargic. We definitely want them to push and develop new technologies that'll make all of our lives better. And hopefully AMD will do the same thing. And let's see what else I got here. Oh, in other hardware sort of news, there's a rumor going around now about the PlayStation 4. I guess there was a developer in London that was responsible for the Wipeout series, which I guess is like a wave race or some sort of water racing game. They got shut down. But what I guess was gleaned from the shutdown is that they were working on two projects. One of them was a Wipeout game, and the other one was described as a Splinter Cell-like game. But the interesting thing was that they were supposedly for the PS4 platform. Now, I don't know about you, but I haven't heard jack about a PS4. So this first kind of tidbit is very interesting, mostly because I actually found the most interesting thing was that the games had been in development for about 12 to 18 months, which is pretty far along in the development cycle. So that means that they already have test gear. They already have a prototype design for the PlayStation 4, and there was absolutely no information about what the console might be other than it might support 4K resolution. If you don't know what 4K resolution is, it's think of 1920 by 1080, which is HD. 4K resolution is 4096 by 2068. So it is leaps and bounds higher res than current HD standards. So it's definitely something awesome that eventually we'll all have. I mean, 4K TVs right now are like 10 grand. But, I remember back in the day when I used to sell TVs that, HD TVs were, 10 grand. Right, I feel both ways in the snow. We had to watch TV in SD, and they were all CRTs, So, I know that stuff will be here eventually. It'll be the next sort of like 3D thing, I guess you could say. But Sony has always really pushed the bounds of what a console can do, and this PS4 looks like it's going to be doing the same thing. Okay, good. This is correct. So let's put some glass up here. There we go. Fill it in. But I thought that was very interesting. So that sort of gives credit to the idea that this next generation is coming sooner rather than later. So we will see the quote-unquote Xbox 720, which is codenamed the Durango, PlayStation 4, all that stuff, maybe by next year's E3, which would be really cool. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for that. I know I'll have my ears to the ground, and now that people are, now that people have caught in wind that these things are in prototype development, we'll probably be hearing more about them. So, and if we do, you can definitely bet that I will be talking about it. Now, I personally here hate the end stone. I mean, it's not bad, but I just don't like it. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to use Nether Brick. And I'm just going to do a quick little swatch here. I like swatches. Just to give an idea of what it would look like. Oops. If I replaced all of these walls with Nether Brick. I actually kind of like this. Let's just go ahead and beat this out right here. And I really like using the already generated landscape, so I'm just going to replace most of this with Nether Brick. But I'm actually liking this. I didn't bring enough of it to do the entire project in it, but I did bring a couple stacks just to give an idea of what we're looking at here. There we go. I actually like this. I'm going to make that a half slab. There we go. That makes it much more even. And actually, I think I'm going to make these half slabs as well. Yeah, Gieran's having a lot of problems with slimes. He has a slime chunk about every other slime, or every other chunk is a slime chunk, I guess. So he's having some pretty hard times. So let's see here. I need to continue this on, but something I didn't consider is how I'm going to do a second level. You know, maybe I just won't do a second level. Maybe I'll just do one huge level. And that way it'll be across the entire thing. Though, now that I think about it, if I really wanted to do that, I probably should have done 2 blocks of cobblestone underneath it just to be safe, because we don't want to fall into the void. So I'll have to go through and I'll have to figure that out another time. So let's keep working. Let's just roll with this. Pull out this cobble. There we go. So PlayStation 4, definitely cool. And you guys probably remember me talking about the Oatmeal and his goal of helping out the people who are trying to build the Tesla Museum. I have fantastic news to report that they have actually reached their goal of $850,000. So that was the original goal, because if they reached $850,000, they would get a matching grant from the state of New York. And what that means is that the state would pony up another $850,000. So pretty much meeting them halfway towards the $1.6 million that they need for buying the land. Now that doesn't guarantee them the spot, because there is another company who is interested in buying it, and they may or may not be nice and let the museum people have it. So they at least have enough to be in the running for a bid. Now, they are also still raising money. I think there's like 38 days left or so, and they're currently at, let me see here, almost $1 million of total funds raised. And once they have the 850K, they'll get another 850K from the state of New York, and then everything else will be used to build the museum. They will need, bye, buddy. He took a dive. They'll need to build exhibits, and they'll need to hire staff. They'll need to do landscaping. So the project isn't done yet. This is just the first step, but it's a big step. So it's definitely cool and exciting, and I really hope that we can do this, because one thing I didn't know is that there, I believe it's in Hungary, where Tesla was originally from, there is a museum dedicated to him, but he moved and did all of his stuff that he's famous for here in the US, and there is no Tesla museum. So he really needs one, and his last surviving laboratory is the perfect place to do it. So I'm really, really rooting for this one, so I will keep you guys updated on it. Or you can also check out the Indiegogo page if you want, and also you can donate. So definitely, if you can. Ooh. Okay, oh, I do have some more cobblestone. Like I said in my last video, tell your friends about it, tell your parents about it, ask, if you have a birthday coming up or something like that, say, for my birthday present, I want you to make a donation to build a Tesla museum. And then they'll think you're such a big, responsible human being that they'll give you a present and then probably make a donation anyways. So, just don't let them know. It's our little secret. Yeah, I'm evil. So definitely something cool that's going on. Okay, let's get this glass here. We'll do the ceiling first. Oops, I'm out of stone slabs. So we'll do those first, since I don't have very many of them. I got Enderman joining me down here. It's like a party. Let's see here. What else I got? Oh yes. There was a little bit of. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Ubisoft said something really stupid the other day. I guess one of their executives was talking about how piracy on the PC platform is at 95 to 97%. So practically all of the games that Ubisoft makes for the PC platform get pirated, according to them. This is not something I haven't heard before. A lot of companies try and say, piracy is, 90 some percent of our losses, or whatever. It's in the billions, trillions of dollars, insert pretty much any number. And independent studies show that it's pretty much all hogwash. There's absolutely no way for you to tell, or for a company to tell, how much of its product is pirated. But that's not... Oh, damn it. I hate it when I do that. But that's not really what I want to talk about. If Ubisoft knows that piracy is bad on the PC platform, which piracy definitely exists on the PC platform, not nearly in the amount that they're trying to say it is, but we're not going to beat around the bush. It does exist. But that leads me to say, well, what are you doing? I mean, if you have all these, we're just going to play devil's advocate here and say, okay, fine, we believe you. If you have all of these potential customers that you're losing because they're pirating your software, well, why is the question that I would ask. Why are they pirating your software? Is it because they don't think that your product is worth paying for? Is it too expensive? What's going on? What is the problem? And I think that a lot of companies, just go, oh, well, we just need DRM. We need to stop the piracy. But we all know that doesn't work. All it does is frustrate legitimate customers who may even turn around and go to a pirated version, even if they purchased it, because it doesn't hassle them. So, I pretty much think that a lot of piracy occurs because of the prices, the insane prices that a lot of companies charge. $70 for a video game now that lasts maybe, 4 hours or so. So, I mean, all you have to do is look at a lot of the successful smaller indie developers and realize that if you could actually harness a lot of these supposed lost sales from piracy just by dropping your prices. I mean, if truly, and we're just going to play, like I said, devil's advocate here, truly Ubisoft is losing 95 to 97% of PC sales due to piracy, why not just drop the price? I mean, even if you drop the price from $70 to, $10, if you converted all of those people who would have pirated your game into sales, you would make so much more money than if you had just one game at $70. So I find that that sort of logic is missing from a lot of the game companies. And I don't think they're stupid. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I think is that they're being disingenuous. That they aren't, they're just trying to, make people pity them. Maybe, oh, god dang it. Maybe get some laws passed or justify having DRM on it, just kind of get pity. They're not really looking to solve the problem because I don't think the problem is nearly as bad as they're saying. So, I'm just going to put this up here. So, that was something that I read that really upset me, and that sort of led into a conversation with me and Giran about, on the flip side of that coin, maybe people are pirating it because they don't feel that the product is worth any money, that the game is just not worth it. And it led into an interesting conversation about essentially game design. What makes a game good? What makes a good game? And, one of the things that we realized is that there really isn't an answer to that question. It's a combination of different things. There's no formula for making a successful game, like I'm sure a lot of companies would wish that there was. Because if there was, then we would see all games be successful, because all you would have to do is follow the formula, and boom, instantly popular game, money in the bank. But we often see that that's not true because, dang it, a lot of we're just going to go ahead and fill that in with Nether Brick. We've seen, I'm sure everyone here has seen popular games that were supposed to be good come out and flop and do very poorly. Let me see if I can think of a good example. Oh, there you go, Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 was a massive disappointment because it suffered from essentially arrogance, which is actually something that I wanted to mention a little bit later, but I'll do it now. It's essentially arrogance. You know, that oh, this is Mass Effect. People who have played Mass Effect are going to keep playing Mass Effect and they're going to buy it just because it's Mass Effect. That's not necessarily true. You have to have a good game. You can't just, make a Madden, make a Modern Warfare or a Call of Duty and make a Mass Effect and just expect people to, sheepishly, consume it. I mean, there are a lot of people that will, but you got to make a good game. These aren't the days where, all you have to really do is just make it pretty, and then all of a sudden, it's a popular game. There are a lot of things that are required for a game to be more successful. I am really liking this look. This looks really good. I love the darkness on the light with the glass against the purple sky. Oops, I didn't want to break that, but it makes the Nether Brick look red and the sky look more purple. So oops. Okay, nobody's screaming. So I'm really liking this. This is really good. But one of the things that contributes to a successful game is timing. Timing is a very, very big part of gaming. If you have the right sort of game at the right time, you can be very successful, even if you never imagined it. One of the things, one of the games that we immediately thought of was World of Warcraft. It came out in 2004, when kind of before MMOs were a thing, and it saw this MMO market, that there was a healthy market. It's not massive by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, at the time I was playing Final Fantasy XI, and one of their huge milestones I remember was for 250,000 concurrent subscribers, which today that's like lol, but to them that was like, hey, this is great. We got 250,000 people that play. So, it wasn't necessarily a empty market. I'm going to go ahead and remove these and replace them with Nether Brick. There we go. And then Warcraft came along and said, hey, there's this market here. There are a lot of things that people complain about. Let's go ahead and fix them. And, we'll make our own game. And they had no idea how successful it was going to be. They didn't really do anything innovative, really. They just sort of fixed problems that the MMO games at the time had been suffering from, like ease of gameplay and not annoying the hell out of your subscribers with ridiculously hard quests and things like that. So let's see here. I've only got 2 slabs. I really wish you could turn Really wish you could do that, turn Nether Brick half slabs. Yes, actually, if you could, that would be awesome. I would really need some stone here. And also a massive amount of cobblestone would be great. Alright, so I'm going to cut out a little bit here and kind of trim this up. Because I have Nether Brick. So we're just going to clean this up a little bit. There we go, that looks good. Break that. Yeah, let's go ahead and fill that in. But WoW's timing was essentially perfect. It came in at the right time when MMOs were kind of a growing field. It really redefined what an MMO was and changed the MMO industry in an extremely positive way, at least initially, until it became the behemoth we all know, and sort of took things in a different direction. But that my opinion on that is something for no. Whew. Yeah, but my opinion on that is something for a topic for another time. Sorry about that that death scream there. So yeah, but timing is a big thing. Another game that I definitely would attribute to good timing is The Binding of Isaac. Super Meat Boy definitely was sort of like the precursor to Binding of Isaac, but Isaac sort of came out at just the right time, because I think that if it would have come out anytime like pre-2005, I really think that it would never have made it, because its main distribution platform was Steam, or is Steam rather, not was. It's still being released on Steam. But prior to 2005, or I think it's 2005, Steam wasn't really a huge platform or very open to indie developers. And also, I think the content in Binding of Isaac would have been a little bit more of a societal hurdle, more than a sales hurdle. So it's probably the combination of easy access to a large consumer base via Steam and the sort of distractedness of it being a sort of a election year the sort of people who would be upset at the sort of content in Isaac being distracted right now. So I think that timing is, or actually was, very good on The Binding of Isaac. So let's see. Let's put this wall here. Oh wait. I'll put it just right here. There we go. Alright, let's stand back and take a look at this. So, definitely I think that Isaac came around at the right time. It was in the right place at the right time. And, yay! Oh, Garen Steve. Or Steve's Garen. Who are you? Did you put it in the chest? Or do you have it all on you? Yay! Awesome. So much. I asked for massive amounts, didn't I? And I got it. Thank you, you're the best. Alright, let's put this end stone away. Put this smooth stone away. Keep this cobblestone, but not all of it. Alright. Split this up. Make some slabs. There we go. Alright, so now we can start slabbing this place up. Get these Endermen out of here. And then, let's see, what was the other thing? Having an idea for what makes a successful game. I think that some people, a lot of game developers, take this to the extreme. Either they make the idea flawed on a very basic level or much too complex. You know, when you break it down into what makes a successful game, it's actually some very simple context or some very simple I can't talk. Some very simple ideas are the foundations of some of the most popular games that we've ever seen. Take Star Fox, for instance. Star Fox is an incredibly popular game, Gieran's favorite game, and definitely one of mine. And when you think about what the concept for the game is, it's after Banjo-Kazooie, right? My bad. It's simply don't die. That is the concept behind Star Fox. It literally, you know, you're going down a rail. Your job is to survive, to get to the next level. And it's incredibly simple. And you know, we looked at this, and really that's what it is. It's an on-rail shooter. It moves you automatically, and your job is to dodge the bullets. You don't have to shoot back at the enemies. You don't have to do that. You should, because it gets you more points, and the idea is to get a lot of points, sort of quote unquote win the game. But you can definitely get through on like a non-aggressive sort of idea set. I mean, when you think about it, that's really all it is. So it's a pretty simple concept, right? You really only need to kill the bosses, and that's in order to progress. But I think that's more of a gating thing, which games like Mega Man are notorious for, because you know you can't get by without a certain item or a certain move. Those are sort of gating ideas. Okay. All right. Let's go grab some more cobblestone. I already have. There we go. So really, some very simple concepts. And I think that a lot of developers nowadays don't realize that, you know, you need to have a very simple idea, and then you dress up the idea. And I think that they have ideas that are a little too grand, and then based on the fact that, you know, most games these days are part of corporate, you know, machines. A lot of later, buddy. A lot of them go into the corporate machine, and the business people, the guys who make the business decisions, go, well, that wouldn't make a lot of money, so we're not going to do it. And this is what you're going to do. You know, this is safe. So it's really kind of disappointing, because games have moved on from being about art to being about profit. And I think that, you know, games like Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boy are very much proof that you can still do artful games. Games like Journey also. You can do artful games and they will still be successful. You know, you don't have to do your, you know, formulaic, boring, you know, iteration, very safe every other year release games like the Madden series, Call of Duty. You know, they're just the same games. They're the same games that are redone in, you know, the same way that they were done last time. with very few changes in order to make them the same as they were. Because it's a formula. If you change the formula, all of a sudden you don't make money. And that's not true at all. So I think that if people were to get a little bit more freedom, simplify things, not have these overly wrought, complex ideas, simplify things, and, just be more artful in the way that it's presented, that games would be much more fun and much more successful to boot. There we go. Looking good, looking good. Alright. Get some more cobblestone here. I also think that, like I said earlier, a healthy dose of humility would definitely benefit the games industry, because a lot of people seem to be very arrogant. That, they think that, this game is going to be successful because it's from, X developer, it's from X game designer, it's got, X person who wrote the story or music or whatever, or it's X franchise. That's mostly what it is. That they can just pump out, whatever crappy game they can come up with in, X months and make money. Step 1, create a franchise. Step 2, make game. Question mark, profit. That's they kind of miss out on the make the game good part, which is, just terrible, because games are supposed to be fun and they need to have good stories and they need to have good gameplay, because that's what makes a game. Otherwise, it's just an interactive movie. And then if it's just an interactive movie, then, like Roger Ebert said, they're not worth anything. Well, I got tons of cobblestone on me. Let me go ahead and need some more of these. Actually, no, let me just go ahead and grab another 64 of these. There we go. Tons of half slabs. There we go. So, some humility would probably do a lot of these very full of themselves developers and designers some good. And let's see here. I actually saw something that somebody said. I don't remember who said it. I think it was. No, I'm not going to say who I think it was, but they said that, and I'm paraphrasing here. If developers and game designers spent half as much time making realistic characters as they did making realistic guns, games would be a lot better. And I 100,000% agree with that statement. I think too much time is spent on the pretty, and not enough time is spent on the, is it fun? Is it a good game? Will people enjoy playing this? And I may be kind of like sounding like a crotchety old man, kind of get off my lawn. We used to do things uphill both ways in the snow kind of thing. But, I remember when games were good. When you could pick up a game, it could tell you a story, and you could have, good characters, and you could actually feel the characters like they were real people. And, some games have never done this well. But it seems that, in the past, there were at least some games that did it well. Now it seems like there's nothing. It's moved on to be so corporate and so formulaic that, who was the main character in, the recent Call of Duty game? Do you know? It's just some generic guy like Rodriguez. Who the hell knows? He's not a character. He's not important. Most people probably won't even remember his name, because you're not playing a character. He's not a real person. It's just a vehicle to get you to the end of the game. And I know some people may say that it's not fair, that Call of Duty's never been a game about storyline, but that is sort of the point. Why should people settle for a $70 game that has no storyline? I mean, that to me is that's insanity. I mean, you play the game for a good storyline, for good gameplay, and not just multiplayer. So I'm probably sounding really old and crotchety, but that's just yeah. Tetris had better character design. There was more character in those blocks than are in most games these days. So breaks my heart to break glass like that. So that's sort of the end of my rant. But it's just there are a lot of different things that could be done that would make games a lot better. Yeah, we are old. We are old school. So gonna finish this up right here, and then I think we're actually going for quite a long time here. I actually forgot to start my timer, so I actually don't know how long I've been talking for. Could be for a very long time. But we've got our Nether Fortress started. We're gonna keep on going and finish it on over to the last part over there. That guy's trying to get across to us. He ain't gonna make it. And then, don't know exactly when we'll get started on the Ender, but it will be coming, so you guys can look forward to that. So, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of KigerCraft. I'm KigerCraft. This is Steven. Steven, get it? Alright guys, take care. We will see you next time.